Thinking this music. Good morning, Slotheads. How is everybody doing this morning? Let us get this music under control here.
No, are you going to cut the jams? You're going to stop the
Yeah,
jams?
you want to lower it? I can just lower it.
Leave it in the
No, when Raul
background.
comes on, he's going to be like, what is this?
What is it?
And then Grumpy Greg's going to be like, what is this? What is
You
this?
think so? Who's Grumpy Greg? Oh, Greg? No.
It's Clearwater.
Well, I should have known as soon as you said Grumpy Greg. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I don't know if that's loud enough. I don't know. It wasn't that loud on my end. But
Is the internet ready for him?
I have no idea. I don't have no idea.
How did he take
What is
time?
going on?
How did he take time out from drinking mojitos to come on the show? Like,
We gotta get Greg on the show.
hey,
We
first
definitely
thing
have to
in the
get Greg on
morning.
the show. Click here to continue with live version. There we
Yeah.
go. Make that a little easier.
That's what his thing was, right? He's like, I'm retired.
I'm retired. Guys, what is going on? Welcome to your Saturday. We have Pete is in business. Raul is probably just waking up because I sent him a text. He's been really busy. We have our one and only Mr. Warren from Like Tech Slots on with us today.
Bonjour.
I almost had one of the guys from the club come on because he was super interested in coming on the live.
Oh yeah,
This guy Brian, call him Coach, and
nice.
and he goes, you do it live? I'm like, yeah, we race with my wife. He goes, no, but I thought it was like a podcast thing. I'm like, well, I do one every second Saturday. Like, you want to come on to that? So I called him this morning. I'm like, hey, it's raining. Why don't you come on? Because he's a coach. And then he's like, no. He goes, they didn't cancel practice. He goes, if not, I'd be on. And I'm trying to get him on, get a perspective of the wood track racing here in Montreal. Get someone else different than me, because I'm sure people are tired of hearing about my stories.
What does he coach?
Girls football for a high school.
Oh,
And college. It's not high school; it's a college.
Really?
So it's a little higher up. But yeah, so that means summertime. So he started that. So they're starting their season. I was about to say, I'm like, it can't be high school because everyone's out of school, but it's college level. So he's there every Saturday now in the summer. Let's get to the chat real quick. Say hi to everybody. See who's in with us. Who braves the early morning? We got So Fast. How you doing, man? Thank you for being here. We got G Money Smackdown. How you doing, brother? Come on if you want. If you're up, man, come on. You know the link. Just pop on.
G Money Smackdown. That's
G-Money
like
Smackdown.
that sounds like an awesome wrestling name.
Yeah. G Money Smackdown. Golden elbow. We got Mr. Tucci. How you doing, man? We got Anders from Lucifer Raceway. How you doing, bud? Thank you for being here. We got White Wolf. We got Slot Car Journal. Mark, I will send you a link if you're willing to come on. I definitely want to hear about your experience racing for the first time. I will definitely have you on the show if you want to come on. By all means, I'll send you a link in the email. Just give me a moment. Let me say hi to the chat, and I'll do that. If you want to come on, no pressure. But I'd love to have you on, buddy.
That's Mark.
And then we
That's
got
Mark
Ripple.
Coach?
What's that?
That's not Mark Coach. No, somebody else.
No. That's Mark from the Stock Car Journal.
Oh.
I stopped from Stock Car Journal. And then we got Vince. How you doing, Vince? Thank you for being here. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Wow, we got Nico, Stock Car Dude. Nico just put out his Fourth Musketeer video. Guys, go check it out. He has a really cool box set that he's showcasing. Very, very nice. Go check out Stock Car Dude's videos if you have not already. We got Stock Car 67. How you doing, man? Thank you for being here. Joe from the Stock Car Dojo. Man, Joe, your videos, honestly, man, are kick-ass. Sorry, I don't mean to swear, but like they're kick-ass, man. They're really, really good. Talk about someone who takes the time and the detail on his track. If you guys have not checked out the Stock Car Dojo, please, by all means, go check out his videos. And very, very awesome. Even his shorts it's motivating me to do more shorts, which I just don't have the time to do right now. We got Mark Petch, 66. How you doing, man? Thank you for being here. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, give me a few minutes. Perfect. And we're caught up. Awesome. I will go. Warren, I'm going to pass it to you. Guys, I'm sorry about the mess behind me. I'll explain
What am I doing?
later. I'll explain this mess behind
Is that
me.
your lab coats hanging over the back of your chair?
I got two of them. I
See, there's one over there and there's one backup right next to you.
Jen found her real lab coat, like her
Yeah,
actual lab coat, and I'm like, don't throw that out. I'm like, we could do videos in both lab coats. No, we appreciate you, Slakar Dojo.
Doctor
Dude,
Areras
thank you
Carrera.
so much. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. Honestly, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any cards you want to showcase while I send Mark a invite? I'm putting you on the spot.
No. Yeah, I got the new Scale Auto Porsches 9972.
Don't show me those.
Is that the 3 or 2?
Don't show me those.
997. Well, it's the 992. Yeah. Really nice. Details awesome. But this is the Fat Turbo livery. I think everybody always wants to get those. And then hypercars have the BMW, but these things I think I got one left. And then this one we're gonna chip for. I know, kind of stupid, but these things sell out so fast. Like they're just in and out, boom. So the last time I think they went, it was like 4 hours, and they all sold out. So
the Porsche sold out in 4 hours.
No, the hypercars.
Oh, the hypercars, yeah.
Yeah, the Acura, the BMW, the Porsche 963. I still have the Peugeots, so I don't know the 9x8s.
Oh, they look great. The NSR, yeah.
That's the Pro chassis. These are in Canada for all the Canadians. So there's no tariffs, no extra surprises, no extortion at the door. When they stand there, it's like, come on, pay. You gotta pay.
Nico, don't spoil it. People gotta go see your video. He goes, that Scale Auto BMW just won my Musketeer comparison.
Which is that what he just did? He did do that?
Yeah. He's got the 3 Musketeer.
This BMW. Yeah. Well, I saw. That's what that's why we're gonna run it in the Gilmore at the Gilmore. We're going with this car.
You're going with that car? Are you chipping that car? We gotta talk
Yes.
about it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chip this one.
Use the chip. The what is that?
It's a C1.
C1. Just call it the C1.
Just call it the C1. It's just easier that way.
C1 chip, digital. Yeah. And this one goes Carrera and Oxygen. You can switch between the two.
So, yeah. So those. I mean, if we're gonna talk about that for a sec.
That's on my project list for this week.
I got my package of shame here, which is all the chips I burned.
No, it's like a little chip graveyard. You should put.
Graveyard.
Would it be apropos to put like a little, like make it into like a tombstone? Like put some kind of like. No.
So this is the chip in question. This is a chip in question that I think I burned, but I think
the suspect one.
Yeah, the one I probably just reversed the polarity, so it was not getting power to it.
Yeah.
I think this is the one that was just a mistake, because the capacitor does not look burnt on it. Well, I don't know. There's a spot on it, but yeah, because the C1 chips, unfortunately, depending on which one you get, you're either going to get them in this configuration with all the wires.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get it with a quick connect for the slotted.
Oh.
Which this is fantastic for the slotted because you just have to unplug and plug.
Yeah,
right? Any sidecar has these quick connects, which makes life a lot easier. But if you're not running a slotted, then I would definitely recommend one of these because it's just easier to solder in, solder out.
These plugs, the white plugs that Slotted uses, I believe it's a Tamiya plug.
Could very well be.
Or is it JST? But yeah, what I did previously is I went onto one of those websites where they sell everything, and I got a pack of 10 of them. So I've got that in my box of electronica.
I even wrote "good one" on it. So I said,
don't mix that up now.
This is the good one. Well, you can tell because it's got all the funky stuff on there.
Yeah.
It's got all the, what do you call it? All the tack, the blue tack that I haven't taken off. Anyways, I just wanted to show everybody that because if you guys are, for those of you planning on coming to the Gilmore, you have to remember that one side is the motor side, and that is basically the one thing that you cannot mess up.
Yeah.
Because you can reverse the polarities, it doesn't matter on each end. reverse polarity
Right,
will
right.
matter, but you cannot put
Switch ends.
the back end here, the one closest to the capacitor, which is the motor side,
Yeah.
that has to go to the motor. And if you flip it, and then you'll just burn out the chip 100%. There's no safety, which is a little silly of them, but I mean it is what it is.
So, but with the plugs, with the one with the plugs, then it's not it's you can't confuse yourself because it's the one with the wires that you'd have a chance of messing up because the wires are just wires, right?
Yeah, you can flip the wires. It doesn't matter because
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. You can reverse the polarity, red and black, your positive, negative. But what you're saying is you're reversing the input side.
Yeah.
So you got your motor end be plugged into your guides up front, and your power going to the motor.
Yeah, because Vince was saying that it was a bit of a challenge to get it into the GT. So
What GT's he running? That was my Vince. That was my what my thinking face. What GT's he running? What is
you running, bro?
what
I'm
GT
gonna bring
running?
this one. I'm gonna bring this one.
Give
on
us the
backup.
deets. We want to know.
You want to know?
Oh, look, it's so pretty.
I like it with the green chassis. I don't know the green.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really cool. They're so bright. I mean, NSR's coloring is super nice.
You should use the. You've got a red body, no?
I have an extra black one, yeah. But if we're running on Scale Electric track,
Yeah.
because this is for the Gilmore guys and the posters up in the corner, we should have Oliver on in a bit if he can make it.
You have a red body.
No, a pod. I have a red pod.
No, red body. Don't you have a red body?
Oh, the red body. Yeah.
Red, you've got a red C8 body.
Yeah, I got a red one. I got the blue Repsol, and I got the an orange one.
Yeah.
The orange one is my angle winder, and I
If you
run that
painted
one.
if you painted the whole side white, go white front to back, and then you could have the. Now your chassis is green, and you got white, and you got red.
Oh. I'm like, where's he going with this? No, I left that
did you-
tackiness in the 80s.
Who'd you pick for the World Cup?
Germany. Germany's my team.
Germany.
You know this. This is why I'm banned from my family.
My
Like-
family did the same thing. They did the pick the other night, and then it's like, by the time I look at it, it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then they're like, no, I picked that team. I picked that team. I picked that team. So I was left at the what was left on as far as favorites.
Francis, how you doing, man?
Germany was gone. Holland was gone. France was gone. I was like, man,
No, I mean Italy's out, so it's
we should
crazy.
be able to choose the same team. It's not like you just pick one
Vince
team.
is
but-
saying
I didn't make up the rules. My family's,
Hold on. Austria. Yeah, Nico's talking about Austria. I used the connectors and got the mates at the Professor Motor. I used the NSR McLaren GT. Sweet. So we'll be up against the McLaren. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to pick, right? Because it's more like who's racing what and who am I racing against. I mean, that's why Warren. For those of you who don't know, let me just explain it a little bit. The Gilmore Classic right now there's gonna be two races: a magnet race and a non-mag race. The magnet race will be Scale Electric cars, full magnet. Here we go. But you'll be able to choose between two classes: LMP or GT. The LMPs will race together, the GTs will race together, but all in the same race. So depending on who's there, that's what it's going to be. There just can't be like, if there's one guy who shows up with one LMP, then obviously it's Oliver will make arrangements or whatever. He'll have extra cars, or maybe we'll switch over. So that's why Warren's taking care of the LMP, and then for the non-mag, I'm taking care of the GT, because then there's a non-mag race and there's a bunch of cars you can choose for the non-mag race. It'll be an hour and a half race as well, and again it's the same thing. It's a GT or LMP, but there's a bit more of a list that you have to pick from. You have to go on Professor Motor's site. He's got the list.
Yeah,
We're going with the NSR Corvette, and
here.
Warren is going with the LMP, and I think we're entering the LMP. Actually, we need a logo.
For?
We need a maple syrup logo. Oliver asked me last night, and I said I'll make one.
Oh,
Today might be a little difficult because I have people coming
shoot.
over right after.
yeah, we have to make one.
I just want to give a shout out to Francis. How you doing, buddy? Thank you for being here. From Facebook, it's working now. Hope you're enjoying the rainy day. No, they don't, Jen. They won't get far.
Yeah, you guys get all the poopy weather. It's sunny here, but it's supposed to rain later on, which means it'll be raining for you at your place for 2 days.
Oh, it's supposed to. It got delayed. It was supposed to rain like 3 days ago.
Yeah, I think
It
it
got
missed
pushed
us. It
over.
was supposed to be raining all day. It's beautiful sunny outside right now. I just posted the. Here's a link to the details for the Gilmore, the Professor
Oh, cool.
Motors.
Thanks.
So you can see on there you've got eligible cars, hypercar. For the hypercars, NSR.
We're gonna go. We're gonna try to go live.
Where
'Cause
there?
we're gonna go see. Well, yeah, from there, yeah. So Raul is coming to that. We're gonna go live definitely from the Gilmore. What I'm trying to say is, we were re-invited back to Johnny Hobby's place. So I think if we can make it happen, Sunday there'll be a race after the Gilmore on Sunday. We're gonna go visit Johnny Hobby in the afternoon. We'll set up some cameras. We'll go live, and we'll. What was the issue last time about going live? Was it his internet in the basement?
At Johnny's?
Yeah, no, he has internet. He just filmed. Hey, Slakar Hub, how you doing, man? Thank you for being here.
Something, 3 in the morning.
Yeah, it was right. I remember him, he's like, "Why don't you come over again Saturday? What time does it finish? Just come over." I'm like, "No, we're not doing that again. We're not racing a full day, going to your place, gonna get lit.
I think that
Got
was
so lit, and then went to bed at 3 in the morning. We did not stop racing. It was like 24/7.
I think that
we were wrecked.
I think that was the issue. Is like by the time we were like, hey, why don't we do it live? It was like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's
And
waking
we were-
everybody up.
Yeah, we were kind of gassed. Maybe.
Oh, Vince is killing it. It looks like he's gonna go full oxygen.
Yeah.
Vince, you're gonna lead us into this oxygen thing. I got CP3 with some help. Got both cars on my working my track. I haven't got the lane switches working yet for oxygen.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah, I saw and I saw Vince posted there that he got the connectors from Professor Motor. So
Yeah.
check out Professor Motor for that. If you guys need them.
Yeah, because
That's good that he's got them.
I'm gonna have to rip them out of the other car, but I basically I got this car off Massimo. This beautiful Nissan. Oh, it's right here. Beautiful Nissan slotted. And I just basically started scrapping all the parts. It's super naked inside. There's no wiring. I took it all out for the quick connects.
No, you're
Yeah.
butchering cars to get parts.
I'm butchering. Yeah, I know, man. Instead of
So-
buying parts. I'm bad.
And then what? No. You're ripping. No.
I'm gonna put them back. It's all good. I bought that whole.
Now it lands up on a list. You know how that happens. Now
Yeah,
it's
I know. That ends up on my desk. My desk.
then
of
one
shame.
day you grab the car off the shelf and you want to race it and you're like,
Desk of shame here. How many cars can I pull up that are not worked on yet, that are missing stuff? Hold on, I got more.
You need an organizer. And you're like,
I do have an organizer. I put everything on a shelf.
scavenge.
I put everything on a shelf. I got little bins for projects. This is one project, actually 4.
Yeah, that's good.
Guys, yeah. So the Gilmore is going to be fun. I'm still keeping Carrera. You can do both easy. No, of course. No. Of course, we're always keeping Carrera. And on that subject, I wanted to talk to you guys today about Carrera. Let's have a discussion. Those of you on wood tracks, those of you on plastic tracks, those of you running magnet, those of you running non-magnet. Somebody proposed a question last Monday night. They said, "Hey, I heard you say that you're running at 60%. And I think 60% speed at 15 volts, 14.8, 15 volts to the Carrera CU, okay? At 60%, the reason I'm running them 60% is for what I call the slower runners of Carrera, because I'm running full non-mag, okay? And I find that there are certain cars like the Ferrari 488, the Aston Martin, and I want to show you guys something. Underneath is I don't know if you can see that a bit compared to the Porsche. Well, this one's okay, but right, it's a little indented. It's a little more. The guide is a little higher into the body. Right, you can see the slot invasion guide there. And then
It's recessed. It's got that
yeah,
recessed.
it's a little bit more recessed into the
and
body.
it has yeah.
But even the Porsche is a little bit more recessed, but not as much. It's hard to tell on the camera. but I find that
No,
those
but you
cars
got
be spotted a lot easier. So at 60% with zero, with no mags in it whatsoever, I find that the cars perform best without having to do much to the car. I just noticed now that there's a little bit of weight in here. I did replace
here.
the back magnet with a little bit of weight.
This is what you're trying to. Where am I? There.
What car is that? Is that the Capri?
It's Capri. See that piece right there? You can see it's recessed.
Yeah.
In there. Right.
But some of them are recessed, like the Porsches look like they're a little recessed, but the guide is still further down, right? The problem with the Aston Martins is that the newer ones not so much, but the earlier ones, the guide is actually you see it visually. So hey, we got Mark. Nice.
It was Mark. So this is yeah, you can see it. Well, there you can see it's recessed. It's got the recess in it, like the little slot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so you're saying the ones that are less recessed run better, like the ones because
no, they run worse at a higher speed.
The guys sitting deeper.
Yeah, the guys sitting higher up. The guys sitting deeper obviously have more traction, right? The reason why I went to 60% is because at that speed in non-mag, I find the cars just perform equally a lot better.
Yeah.
Right. So that was. So I want to know what speed people are running at now. Like, what's your? I'm just curious, right? And we'll get Mark on here, and we'll talk about that too. He can give us a little. Where is the logo? There it is. Let's get that logo up there.
Where is the logo?
All right, guys, here we go. Let's get.
That's what sounds like the Black Eyed Peas. Instead of "Where is the love?" Where is the logo?
Where is the logo? How you doing, Mark?
Good. How you guys? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I hear you great.
Good morning, Mark. How you doing?
Good, Warren.
Yeah.
Let me just fix this. There we go. Okay. Close back. So we were just talking about speed on the track. How what voltage are you running at?
Normally I run about 11 volts. I was running for 12 for a long time, but then I just kind of notched it down a little bit, which seems to work fine. It's almost, the difference really isn't that great. Maybe I'd say the only difference I notice is the Carrera cars. A little bit, but not much.
So that's running on a Carrera track?
No, it's an Arton track.
Okay.
It's probably about 25 years old.
Yeah.
Back then, around 2000, you could get like a really nice 4-lane set.
Yeah.
After JCPenney after the holidays for about $100.
Wow.
And it's hard plastic. It's like Carrera, and it's really well made. It's smooth, same surface.
Yeah.
It's just not quite as wide as Carrera. It's somewhere in between, like Carrera and Scalextric, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's all painted, and I filled the joints, and
nice.
So it kind of looks like a wood track, but it runs kind of like a plastic track.
Oddly enough, back in 2001, I started again temporarily. I found an Arton track on Marketplace, and it was nice. It was not bad track. It locked together nicely. I remember that positively locked together.
Yeah, it has a nice locking system. I think it's similar to the old Revell system, but it doesn't look as pretty because it was a little bit smoother. But Harry over at Home Racing World for years. I mean, back then, he actually had a big Arton track. I think he was actually selling some of it, and all the tips on how to set it up and everything he had it on his website. But it works really well. I'm pretty happy with it, and I've got enough of it that I'll ever need, plus some extra stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, that's how you can also, so you don't have any switch gears or anything.
No, well, I did. It's all analog. The only difference I did for years, I just ran with the stock, set up with the wiring and controllers. And then I did fix it so I could use a Parma 45 ohm controller. about a year ago, I set it up. I added a brake circuit, so now I can run a standard, three wire setup and
Oh,
everything. So it
nice.
works well. It's different, but and again, that was all stuff. Harry had a thing on how to add brakes to your art and track from years ago. In fact, it's
Well,
not even on his regular website. You have to do a
oh, well, you
like
deep
a
dive?
web history search to find
Yeah.
it.
Oh, wow. Go
Yeah,
get into the archives.
yeah, yeah,
That's wild. I didn't
So
know that.
so do you find so for racing on 11, because you said 11 volts, right?
yeah.
11. I find it very interesting that because even Slot Car Hub is saying that he's on his wood track he's doing 11 volts, and on our side we only put 11 volts for like the Ninco cars with their original motors, or any like um, the I don't want to say non-commercial, but the more like the Slottits, the NSRs, the Scale Autos, those all run. We all run at 10.5, which is it's zero point 0.5 volt of a difference, but it's these guys are like they're born with that, like they're done with that. I mean, they're married to that voltage, and I was surprised. I'm like, well, if you're gonna run it so slow, what's the big deal? Why don't you just up the voltage? But then a lot of it has to do with gear ratios and the smoothability of the cars and the motors. And just by upping it by zero point 0.5, the cars handle completely different, I find.
Yeah,
And
I think what led me to do it was when I was doing a test of the hypercars. I had the Scale Extric and the Slot It and the Scale Auto, and I was started. I think the first one I did at 12, and I noticed that the thing was actually to calm down the Scale Autos
mhm.
because those motors. I mean, they were just so torquey. Those cars are way more than like most home tracks need. I mean, they're actually kind of overkill, at least like for my track. And I did notice a difference. You stomp on those, and my longest straight in the back is probably 8.5 feet, 9 feet. And if you stomp on it, you got to really come right off it because it's almost too much. So I kind of tuned it down a little bit, and it kind of brings everything in a little bit closer. I don't notice quite the difference sometimes in the performance of the cars. And again, all those cars I run out on the home track are all box stock. I don't really
Right.
tinker with cars, although for the Amsco race I had to.
You start running
Totally, totally different thing there. That was
That's the thing, right? Stock Car 67 says 10.5 on his wood. So good, thanks, guys. I'm curious to know and what tires you're running as well. Thanks for your comment. Um, As I found with the NSR hypercars, 9.7 volts. The car handles awesome. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. In that 10 to 11 volt range, depending on your track, obviously, right? If you got a short track with a lot of curves, you're going to want to lower the voltage. If you got a long straights, you're going to want to rip it through the straights. But Mark, I think just hearing you say that, I know that now. I'm like, okay, so I'm on the right track here. One of the easiest things to tune a car is just lower the voltage,
yeah.
right? And without bringing it down to 8, where when you have the grandkids come over or whatever, 8 4 volts. Obviously, you want to have fun with the car, because I think that's what it is. I think at 15 volts to the car CU, but bringing it down to 60%, if I'm not mistaken, that's around the 10.5, 11 volt mark, because 80 and 90% on the Carrera track it doesn't take off much from, because I did the readings a while back and I was like, oh, 90% and 10%, it's like it's 0.3 volts of a difference here to the motor. But as soon as you start going down to 60, so I think that's when it started bringing down the voltage a bit. So it's interesting to hear you say that as well. But you practicing at 11 volts, and let's get to the Amsco. Here when we have Garth is saying 15 volts on Carrera 250 feet. Wow. 15
Yeah, I'm
volts.
just
What?
I'm just at 50 feet, and I'm all rubber and urethane. I don't run silicone because it's in the basement, and it's
Wow.
not real dusty, but it's still I don't have to clean it that much.
Okay.
And I've got it rubbered in. I mean, decently now, so it works real well. But yeah, that was. I mean,
What was Amsco running at?
I'm pretty sure they were running at 12. I mean, I don't honestly don't know because I heard different things over the course of the couple days, but it really didn't matter to me.
I
They're
had
going
to
to
roll
run
it
it whatever they're going to run, and I'm going to plug in and just try to do the best I can. It was besides the fact that I was never happy with the car the way it wasn't great on my home track. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to get there, and I would have to retune it anyway, even if I did have it running good. And I just never got it to hook up, the way I wanted. It was way too sloppy in the back end. So, you try to drive it the best I can. And my driving, I'm still learning. I only switched to DeFalco like a DD300 about a year ago. So I'm still playing around with settings and how to adjust the sensitivity in the brake. That was a totally new experience for me. But what I did learn is that the style of driving, at least on the track like that, is totally different than what I do at home. At home I'm feathering all the time because it's a shorter track. There I'm watching guys. It's like on, off, and on, off, and and so I tried that a little bit as I got into like the last time I was racing, and it actually does work better. But again, that goes back to, all right, I'm going to need a lot more opportunities in practice to get used to doing that, because that's just totally different from what I'm used to.
Well, that's a different the on-off thing. I noticed that too, and I'm like, wow, that's a whole different philosophy on how to push the car and get it into the corners, and you're basically like finding your braking points, right? And you're relying 100% on the controller for your when you're letting go for the brake. What chipset were you running on the DeFalco?
Oh, it doesn't even have it. I don't. It's just stock. I don't even know that it.
Okay, because I'm only familiar with the one I bought, which is
the one I have. It's the base, I think, adjustable. So I don't even know if that's maybe you can switch it out, but I wouldn't even bother to do that.
Okay.
It's funny, you sit there like I said, I was watching, everybody's got these $200, $300, $400 controllers, with the extra box and everything, and I'm like, well, that's pretty impressive. It doesn't make any difference to me because I wouldn't know how to get any benefit out of that one either. So, it's fine.
Are you using your DeFalco now on your track?
Yeah.
Okay. And how have you? What differences have you noticed?
The braking is the biggest thing. I play around with that the most. The sensitivity, I like it pretty sensitive because I can, because it's, again, there's not a lot of distance between curves and there's a lot of level changes. So I like to, I like it sensitive as I can get it. But the brakes, I'm still adjusting and trying to get used to. How much braking I want. Sometimes I probably at home don't use as much as I would racing at a bigger track, because I am just so used to driving without brakes at all for a long time. You just kind of try to slow it down and coast through the turns. So, of course, that's not, again, most of those cars are stock. They still have magnets in them, so, it's like having a brake anyway. So, and that's mostly because most of the people who run on this track, they're friends and family. A lot of them don't have. It's kind of like Pete, I think, said once, they don't really have any experience. That's why I put in variable power so I can tune it down. But then I keep some other cars, they're not all stock. I have some cars I set aside, and I'll probably get more that I'll set aside for racing and tinkering with and doing stuff like that.
So what was your biggest challenge then going to the big race compared to home? Like, what were your impressions when you first got on that track?
Well, when I just the distance. Again, the furthest curve going into one of the curves, it was like almost 40 feet away.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I thought the whole scale, you're on a 50-foot track, but it's only the furthest part is like 12 feet away from you, is one thing. If you're on a 175-foot track that's 8 lanes wide and the furthest part is almost 40, that's just the scale and timing is a whole different thing, although it wasn't quite as difficult as I thought it would be. The furthest corner, getting that right, because there was probably about, I don't know, maybe a 12, 15-foot straight going into that, but it's going away from you.
Yeah.
So that's probably, it was kind of hard to get judgment there, but otherwise it wasn't too bad. The thing I was worried most of, and I was talking to Chris Freder about this too, race in front of all these people. I know Chris was not, it was kind of apprehensive about it. I thought about it a lot, but the funny thing was, and if anybody, you go into a big race like that, if you've never done it before, it didn't bother me at all. Because when you're up there, it's just you and the car. I'm not racing. I don't feel like I'm racing. But guys would pass me. Almost everybody passed me. But I don't care. They might come off in the next turn, and I'm right back in front of me. But I'm not really paying attention to that. I'm not paying attention to anybody around me. It's just me and the car, and I found that to be actually kind of calming. So that I actually missed one of my practice opportunities because I had to leave early and we were running late, and I was actually kind of pissed, not at anybody, just at the fact that I was looking forward to racing all by myself with everybody watching because I kind of like tune them out. But yeah, that was different. I didn't expect that, but it was much easier from that aspect than I thought it would be.
Oh, cool. How did you? Sorry, you have a question?
No, that's awesome. I mean, that's the first time we went to the Nationals. Remember, we had that same. Like, what are we doing? I know for me, I was nervous as hell with
it's that qualifying, and everyone stops and is staring at you, and I'm like, dude, like, guys, stop looking at me. Like,
and you're like, and you're wondering what to do next. You're like, where do we go? Where do you have all those questions, and it's an awesome experience though, and everybody's really helpful. So that was really nice. So
it might be different if you're expecting to be real competitive.
No.
It's like I'm not here. I know I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm just here to see if I can stay on the track and go as fast as I can. And I really don't,
Oh yeah,
at
no.
my age, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks anyway. So, I'm just here to have fun, and that's the way to approach it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? And my thing is I'm a little competitive, so I want to go there. And I knew that, like, going to the first one, I'm like, just absorb it as an experience. Don't expect anything. And then Raul said something to me that made sense. And he goes, look, you got to play the game in your own head. He's like, figure out how long the track is. And what was it? It was his formula of, okay, a lap time. It was distance divided by lap time. And he goes, if you do 10 laps per minute, he goes, your goal should be X. He goes, and that's the game you play. And he goes, that's not a fast lap time. That's not a slow lap time. Pick the mid. So if fast lap times were, example, 6 seconds. I don't know what fast lap times were. Just looking at it, 6 seconds, whatever. Give yourself, say, if you did 10-second laps, how many laps would you make? And that's the game you play with yourself. That way you block off everybody, and you just say, okay, well, I need to make X amount of laps because an average lap time is this, and that's the game you play. And then you worry about it later, especially for newbies coming in. Like, you're not there. You're not an Andreas coming in from NSR, and you think you're gonna, or a Dicky, dungeon racer. You're not going to go up against that guy if you've just come into the hobby, unless you've been practicing and whatever, and that's your goal. So for me, it was more like, okay, let's see if I can slow down the thinking, right? All the pressure of like, oh, this guy's passing me, I got to pass him. It's like, no, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
The less you deslot, the faster you're going to be. And that's a weird concept, and it sounds so simple. But it's such a weird concept when you're up there, because then you have all that noise. And people are passing and this and that and what's going on. Hey, Marty, how you doing, man?
Good.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, well, we used to call it big match temperament, right? So when you're in a competition and you don't want to, when you crash, then you end up chasing, and then you end up crashing again, and then you consistently feel like you're behind the 8 ball trying to get back to that consistency, as opposed to you've got to just let that go. Get back into your rhythm and just run smooth laps and not worry about everybody else.
Yeah, and like they say, smooth is fast. If you just and that's what I focused on, just staying on the track. And they had some kinks in that track that were kind of hard to negotiate. A lot of the turns they're wider and smoother, and you can take those at some speed. But just staying on the track and just I figured every lap I could further I could go and just not come off, the better I would do, and you can just kind of do it by feel, I guess.
Yeah.
How did you? What was your mindset? Carrera Dave, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining, Mr. Erdman. What was your mindset on crashing, on deslotting? How did you pick yourself up? How did you get back into the rhythm? And two, that'll be a second part question. How did you find the switching of lanes? How well did you adapt to the switching of lanes?
Switching the lanes, I mean, nobody wants to be in the way inside or way outside, because they're just going to come a point when you're going to be on the inside,
Yeah.
and those tighter turns are hard to negotiate at speed, obviously. As far as my mindset, if you're coming off, well, first of all, I try to watch my tongue, because I sometimes at home, if something happens at home, I curse, you can hear me down the block. I had that totally under control, so the most you would get was shit, But
All right.
all the marshals did a great job, and they got them on pretty quick. So, the minute on, you're just back at it. I just don't coming off. This doesn't really, you really didn't 8-lane track, man. You just don't. You just kind of slide across the track. It's not like you're hitting a wall or anything like that. So, it's pretty easy to get right back on the horse the minute you come off.
That was good. And the track, because did you practice with the recommended tire, or the handout tires? Did you manage to get a set of those?
All beforehand, I just all had the stock tires. We did get the recommended tires beforehand, before we had our practice runs there, our qualifying, and they helped a little, because I think they were a lot softer than the stock tires that came on that car, so that helped a little bit, especially with the grip on that track. His grip is greater than what I have at home, but still with the the speed and everything was still hard to kind of get used to. Overall, I would just encourage anybody, if you've never done it before, and just get out of the basement and go try it. Even if it's with a group of people. I found some local people, some of the guys there that I wasn't aware that were even that close to me, that race out of their homes in a group. But yeah, I found it real enjoyable. The thing, if I do it again, I'm there. We have a 12-hour or 6-hour one in August, but I'm not going to subject anybody to my driving at this point until I get a little bit better. Plus, a longer stint. I don't know how that would work out, but the thing is, I would go into it with a better prepared car, and even if that meant, finding somebody who really knows how to tune better to kind of show me how to tune it. When I was there, I mean, they said, well, there are people who can help you, but that's kind of hard there at an event like that. Because unless they're identified and you know who to go to, everybody else is focused on their own cars, their own thing, and you really don't want to bother anybody. So I was kind of, it was hard for me to know what to do, or to get help from that extent. There were a couple people who helped me out. Joe DeCola was pretty helpful. He noticed, he was marshaling. He talked to me a little bit, and he was helping me. He was marshaling and picked up my car. And at one point, I think during my second one of my runs, that the tire in the back, one of my back tires, was getting shredded. It was too close to the gearing, and it was starting to pick up, because I noticed I was driving, it was kind of seemed sluggish, like there was something wrong. And I knew the tolerance there was pretty tight anyway, but after the course of driving so many laps and the going into the turns and everything, it just started like digging into the tires a little bit. And I pulled it off at one point and was looking at it. It's like, yeah, it was pretty bad, and I managed to get it fixed a little bit. Yeah, it was fun.
It helps when people are have had so much experience at that point, and it's not an arrogance. It's a, hey man, this is a problem with your car, and clearly,
Yeah.
like, let me help you. Click, 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 and go. Right? Like, I've always appreciated that from everybody. Having an experience like that, right? Like someone says, hey, listen, you're clearly a new driver. Let me just help you out here, and then you just, you do what you want with that information afterward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Such a great
so
community.
I'd probably get a car, like, tune it the best I can, and then maybe, give it to somebody who knows what they're doing. Just, what do you think? Or maybe not necessarily to do it for me or fix it, to their setup, but at least tell me what they think I should do, and let me go from there, because that's make a difference. I mean, you start at a baseline. You kind of want to have at least to know that the car is going to stick to the track in a reasonable way and handle pretty well. And there's some things I would have done different, but again, it's just, experience is first time for that. So
For sure. So it's funny. Sorry, I'm having people over and they're texting
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, see, I've got to say my phone was ringing, and my grandkids are coming in about a half an hour, an
Oh,
hour.
that's it. Same here.
Remember, it's a Saturday swim day.
Oh, there you go.
Saturday swim day, and then they have a tote full of toys, and it just becomes a toy explosion. But they're really good; they clean up after themselves. But they'll run in, and yeah,
So,
it'll be
so
like
Marty,
it'll be hectic at around 10:30, quarter to 11.
yeah. So as he's saying, Greg's setup videos got my car really close, and just talking about setups, like from the beginning, when you ask somebody, hey, what's up with my car? Can you give me any tips? People will either be like, well, you kind of realize as you go down, as you get more and more into it and how to tune a car, everyone has their own philosophy on how they want to tune a car. So there's setup, getting the car set up and ready to run on the track, and then there's the actual tuning part of it, right?
Yeah.
And tuning can be anything from like understanding what the gear ratio is that suits best that track, which I think
We should call that fine tuning.
fine tuning. Yeah. Well, there's setup. I mean, you set the car up, you take it out of the box.
Yeah,
Mark knows
yeah.
a lot about
And
that.
then
I'm sure
you're dialing it in, that last little.
Well, that's it. But what are you dialing it in for, right? And I think this is what the
Well,
challenge is, right? You get
yeah.
a car, you don't know what the track is, you don't know how it's going to perform. You're not sure unless you get the tires beforehand, and
Yeah.
that's if you have the same type of
Well, that's
track.
what you're doing. You're dialing it into the track and the conditions that you're racing on. And
But it's also a guessing game because at a certain point you're like, okay, well, if the stand stock is 1232, whatever, right? Oops, excuse
Yeah.
me. And sorry. So you're kind of
1232.
playing a guessing game because
Yeah. As far as your gearing,
towards your gearing, right? Because I remember going to the NSR, I was very, the car I had dialed it in, and I knew, well, dialed it into my specs, whatever. I had my Corvette, and then Marty, speaking of, came up to me and he was like, "Oh no, man, like, I forget what it was." He goes, "You got to go down, the gear." He goes, "I would use the 32 or I forget what it was, 32 or at the time, and because I was using stock." And he's like, "No, you should really change it." And I'm like, I know I should be taking his advice.
yeah,
Because just for sheer experience, he's been on there more. I'm very new to this, but at the same time, I'm so scared of touching my car and messing something up, going in and changing out the gear. Now I have more confidence to be like, yeah, whatever, change the gear, boom, 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 let's go, right? Like I've broken that that wall per se, but it was to the fact that, like, had I lowered that gear ratio and lowered the speed of the car, I would have had probably better handling. But you don't know that until you practice.
yeah.
So I don't know how many people bring, unless that's a proper practice, is to bring all your gears with you, which can be very daunting for someone coming in like me who's new. Is like, wait a minute, how many gears do I need to buy? How much stuff do I need to bring to this race to get my practice and to be like, oh, okay, let me fine tune it like on the spot. But there are little things you can do, like sanding, right?
Yeah.
Sand out your pod so there's no rubbing on the motor pod. Make sure your front tires are zero grip as best as possible. Make sure your axles spin as freely as possible, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Break in your motor.
Yeah.
Why don't you just break in your motor?
Yeah.
Right?
it's funny, Joe. Again, somebody doesn't race like that much. You watch all this stuff and you think, yeah, okay, how much does that really matter? But you find out it really does matter a lot. Some of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, this was the victim here.
You got to show that car. That car's. I'm gonna maximize you. This car is
I had a lot of fun with this car, and again, I had never I had never airbrushed a car before. I mean, I had
There you go.
never done this. It was the first time for me, but I had a paintbrush that, if I can get that right. But this was the, I did, and what I did, Japanese car. I like beer liveries. I mean, they're my favorite, and so that's what I picked for this when I got a theme and just kind of went with it, and it was fun. I mean, I was really got satisfied, and I thought only if it runs anywhere near as fast as it looks, and it didn't, but that's okay. It was still I
But
had
you
loads of
entered
fun.
GT4 about the
Yeah,
yeah.
and I don't know. I doubt if you guys can see that, but this is. You can see how that's shredded. There's like
Yeah.
in there, but that wheel got, and that didn't help. And I did actually, Marty be interested. I did try the Unibraid at one point. I came off, and the guys were, it's not running, it's not
Tried
running.
the
This was luckily it was like near the end of my practice runs. Nothing, and then he looked at it, and there's no braid. He handed it to me, and then I happened to look down, and I saw it down on the floor. So I stepped off the podium, picked it back up. We were done by then anyway, and I did manage to get it back in. Now, when I did the braids, according to Greg's video, I changed the pickup and everything, cut it down, trimmed it. I did put the spring back in, which I one way or another, but I couldn't get the braids in with the what's the thing that the wires go in. It's age. I couldn't get them in the way he suggested, and so I got him in the stock way, and I can see why he suggested that way because it probably would have kept him in. I did go back and put a little bit of glue just between that and the guide, not to keep it off the braid and everything, and that solved it for the rest of the race. But yeah, that was kind of fun. But again, these are things that it's a learning experience, and that's what I enjoy. And they say, when you get older, time goes slower if you start constantly doing new things and you keep your mind busy. And learning experiences like that are a great way to do that. So it was all good.
That's
Oh, for
awesome.
sure. And Marty said it best, right? Like, I guarantee not to win using Unibraid. Yeah, not that. He said the more you go, the more experience you have, right? And that's just how it is. And either you're gonna want to go there to compete or want to go there and just race for racing. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy both, right? I mean, we've got the Gilmore coming up, and that was my first experience on anything was the 2 lane, and that's what the majority of us, I believe, are used to. Right, is racing on a 2 lane track, and to have a 2 lane track so massive, and then having to navigate and negotiate the cars was still familiar enough, and that was my biggest thing coming back, saying, guys, like anybody can do this. This is not like there's no reason to be scared of these races at all. Don't think, oh, I'm going to go and no, go see what it's like, get your car set up, and just run it, and then learn that experience. But setting up a car. But there's two different mindsets, right? From digital to the analog race when you're racing yourself versus racing, literally trying to grab through traffic. But for the analog style 8 lane, 6 lane endurance races, because how many minutes was it? 3 minutes per lane?
Yeah.
5 minutes? Something
Yeah.
like that. No, I just lost my train of thought. But what were we talking about? I had my point.
You're getting old too, right?
Oh man, there's just so many things. No,
There you go.
no. What Marty was
Live.
saying about it's live. It's like, hold on, let me just.
You were asking what the lap time was 3 minutes per lap.
No,
and
32
you're
minutes. No, Marty was saying.
going from lane to lane.
Yeah, stop here. It's hurting my brain now.
Sorry.
That was the question for Mark. No, because that experience of going there and doing it again and getting easier at it. The
Yeah,
The big track. And no, the point was, yeah, you got to get out there and you got to, you have to experience it because there's no reason why anybody on a home track would not feel as comfortable on a big track.
Yeah,
And Mark said it as well. He goes, you
yeah,
is still encouraged, even with your experience, you still encourage people. So it wasn't a bad experience. You
No,
had a
it's
great
great.
time.
no,
You met
yeah,
some great people. And
yeah.
what, going forward into the next race, what would you change? Well, how would you approach it? What differences would you put in? Not would you change, but
Just have a better car. Have somebody with experience, and I know some guys would be willing to help me. Just get that car as good as it can be.
I don't remember what.
Other than that, I mean, but everybody there is really, I mean, obviously some of those guys are, just the best racers out there, but
Yeah,
everybody's really positive.
yeah,
Everybody's really welcoming. I meet some of these guys, and you know, a lot of race, a lot of guys who race cars don't watch as much YouTube as like the average like home track racer.
yeah,
Yeah.
And they may or may not know who you are, and it doesn't matter. Just you assume nobody knows who the hell you are.
well,
But once you told your story, and I saw a lot of guys like Ray Lego, Jim Cunningham, a lot of those guys that I'd seen a lot, and they're all very very friendly, and everybody's exchanging stickers and stuff and telling their stories, but everybody's really positive from no matter the experience level. So if you go in, say, I've never done this before, doesn't matter. You'll just have just as much fun as everybody else. Just keep it real, your expectations and everything. But yeah, if you go in with a good attitude and expecting to have fun, you'll have fun. Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's the biggest thing is that it's getting over that fear, right? As coming from a home track, then going to an event like a regional or a national or international, it's getting over those fears of and experience. So, but like you say, everyone's usually very helpful. There's lots of guys there. I went to the internationals in Texas one year for sailing, and I had my boat set up, and I was like and I was sailing, and I thought I had everything trimmed out properly and everything, and then one of the guys comes over, and he's like, here, let me look at your boat. Starts adjusting the luff and all my rigging and everything, and it was completely different to what had been successful for me to get to to that level. And I was just learning from him, and then so he became my what I called sailing Yoda. So, and he had a stick, and he gave me the stick. It was a carbon fiber stick, and it had all the measurements for my mast rake and my luff and all my lines. He just took it and he measured it all around the boat and adjusted and set everything for all the different wind conditions, by our wind speed. And he was so helpful and became a really good friend. And I think that's with any sport, including our slot cars. The guys everybody's going to help you. The people are going to help you. And you just got to get over that fear of going to the event and your expectations. Don't be harsh on yourself. Learn. Every time it's a learning experience. So even in your what in our minds sometimes might be a failure, we can find growth and learn from that experience, right? It's like, it doesn't matter that you came 47th in a 75-person field, that you did, that you've got to measure now for next time.
No, it's worse than that actually. But hey, I don't care.
No, you did. That's fantastic. You were there. You've got an experience, and so you can build on that. And that's what I took away from it. It's like I didn't have any expectations going to the nationals. And I did great because I had a great time. I was with you guys. I learned.
If I could pull up pictures as you're talking, you were so serious on that driver podium. Warren's like, "Hey, Warren, I just have to go have fun." If I could show the pictures, Warren's like,
hey,
he's zoned in. He's just like, "I gotta."
oh yeah, of course.
We've got that competitive bug, right? I mean, I'm like this, and you're like this.
Oh yeah, and then my ADHD was taking over. I'm like, I got buttons to pull. Look at this, like I did it. What am I? Don't even know what I'm doing. Like I'm trying this one. And some more power, some more
You were
torque,
so serious.
Well,
brake.
I'm gonna have to bug out in a minute because I got to go get my son up so he's ready for work. But I would just tell anybody that again, for no matter what, there's so many different aspects of this hobby that make it fun. If you're, some guys like me, like I love to build tracks and make scenery. Guys are into 3D printing. You can do stuff with that, tuning cars and racing. And I think to get the full experience of the hobby, you got to try them all. I mean, you really owe it to yourself to try all of them. Maybe someday I'll actually, get on a digital track and try that. I don't do it because, again, my hand-eye coordination was never that great to begin with. So it was probably harder for me. It's why I got in analog, and that's why I'm sticking with. But I think you really do. You owe it to yourself to try them all. Get into every bit of
So then let
every
me
aspect
challenge
of
you
the
on that,
hobby
Mark.
and see how you do it.
Mark, let me challenge you on that. If I prepared this car, which I was going to prepare it, would you be able to come to the Gilmore on the 27th?
No,
I'll
I
pay your
can't.
ticket.
Yeah,
I'll pay
no,
your ticket. Don't tell Ben.
it's. I wish I could, but that especially that weekend. But yeah, I mean, one of those because Michigan overall isn't that far away. One of these times, I'll get up there.
Do you plan
And
on
I
coming to
almost did
the?
that one weekend, but again, I had family coming in. But
What about the
yeah,
NSR Easterns? Are you going to come to the NSR Easterns? It's in November, right after
maybe
Thanksgiving.
it's far enough out.
The
But
GRL is going to have their competition there. We're looking for 24 drivers. Magnet Racing.
well, I don't know. But again, it's just that's something I again encourage everybody to try a little bit of everything because that's how you get the full experience
No, that's
enjoyment out
I
of the
think you nailed it
hobby.
on the
So,
head. That's
but
awesome.
yeah, it's been great for you guys being on with you guys today. I enjoy it.
Oh no, I appreciate you coming on and sharing. I definitely want to hear from you. I definitely want to hear from Chris Frater, Marty as well, and that's it. And best wishes to Marty and family. I know his wife. We just underwent some surgery,
Yeah,
so best wishes to her for a speedy recovery. And that's it, guys. Again, Mark, I'm sure there's so much more we could have spoken about, but we got kind of left field and sidetracked. And I just want to touch on one thing before you go. And I think you nailed it on the head with the car. Having a tuned car that works really helps. I think your driving skills. People say it's two things you're battling, right? Your actual skill and then the car itself and how it performs. Because
exactly.
it's been so many different times where I'm like, oh, I'm having a bad race, and we'll switch out a car that's, at the club I'm talking about on the wood track that's just a little better tuned, and all of a sudden my times are a lot better.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like,
takes a lot of pressure off.
yeah, and it definitely gives you that confidence to be like, okay, so it's not just me. There's a certain level of how the car is performing that maybe doesn't click with your driving style, and that's the key, I think, is figuring out your driving style and then tuning a car that helps emphasize that driving style, so you can do better, right?
Yeah,
But that's a whole. I think that's a whole other live stream. We can talk about that. Like,
we'll get to it.
all right, Mike. I don't want to
Right.
keep you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. But have a great weekend.
Have a good week.
Thanks,
All
Mark. Have a
right.
great weekend.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Take care, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
And there we go. And then I'll bring us back to. There we go.
Yeah.
Boosh.
That
Back
was
on. Back on. We have Oliver did say he was coming on at 10. I don't know if you have to go. Oh yeah, look at those.
So I did a video. I'm gonna post it because it's been a while since I did a video. So I took the old school 2007. This is a Scale Electric Porsche Spider, and it's got Frankenslot guide on it, and then aftermarket tires. And I took the new one, and I raced them both on the Carrera Digital, so it was new versus old. And I got that video coming out. And this one doesn't have the guide though, but I did put aftermarket tires on it. NSRs, I put NSR tires are on both of
Doesn't
these
have the
cars.
guide. What do you mean?
No, I haven't put an aftermarket guide on, like a Scale Electric. This is a Frankenslot Scale Electric to Carrera guide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this one doesn't have it. But this car, out of the box, I was really impressed for a Scale Electric, how well it ran, the hypercars, and it's beautiful.
The-
And I crashed it a couple times, and it's no worse for wear here. The wing pops off too. So
Oh, nice. Marty, I've never felt so alive. Adrenaline pumping, leg shaking, big moments, etc. And I think that is, and I want to speak for anybody, but for myself, that I have never really, I did Jen for my birthday once got me a drive in a Ferrari at iCar, up here Mirabel, where the airport is. They have a big track where they bring you around, and it was around the COVID time, so the instructor couldn't drive, so he gave me a free lap, and then we practiced racing that Ferrari. I realized like I don't have that eye coordination because it would take a lot of time and a lot of skill levels. So for driving and racing and being quick on it, but being able to race slot cars, bringing it down to that scale and controlling it, and the controls are easy enough that all it is a trigger. Yes, there's buttons and whatnot. That if that is something that brings you alive, and if you haven't realized it, coming to a race might bring that out into you. So we are all racers, whether regardless if we're home racers or event, chasing those events. Marty, it's absolutely that, and that just little feeling of adrenaline. It's like playing a gig. For those of you who are musicians or whatever, like Marty, you play that gig, you feel it, and when you're done, you're tired and exhausted and adrenaline feeling all the time, finding that rhythm. I mean, for a drummer, I don't know how it is for guitarists and singers, how you guys are always in the front, but as drummers who have to keep everything together, the only other time I've ever felt that type of adrenaline is doing a live show. And I think that's what it is. And if you haven't felt that yet, then go to a show. Go to an event and see if that doesn't bring it up for you. For absolutely that drive. It's hard to explain, but it's just even just events at the club when you're racing other people, you're put into a situation where it's I don't want to say do or die, but it's like if I mess this up, if I mess up that corner, I ain't gonna make it. And it comes down to the wire sometimes, and those are the experiences, and those are the times. Those of you who are racing in clubs, it, right? You know, like, oh, we're neck and neck. We're at the seventh lap. It's a 7-lap race. We're both at 6. I know that if I don't make that corner, right, I got to do my best to stay in the slot, but I got to take that chance. All that excitement and build up, that's what it is. And then racing with everyone else, and for sure that's 100% it. And I don't think we talk about that enough. Because it's something that goes on in your head, and either you feel it or you don't. But I think that's the majority. Why there was, I mean, how many people showed up to AMSCO? 90. Those people want to feel that, and then people like Mark who just want to go and experience it and come back and say, "Hey guys, yeah, let's go." Like, there's no reason why you shouldn't at least once in your life try these events. And that's how we felt at the first Gilmore, and hopefully that's how we're gonna, looking for that adrenaline rush now at the second Gilmore coming up, and then the NSR Easterns that are coming up, and the AMSCO, it's coming. It's just gotta plan it out. Yeah, exactly. Super healthy. I'm so glad you brought that up, Marty. Exactly. Fantastic. Ernest, did the Easy? How you doing, man? Easy and Colt, thanks for being here. Thanks, man. Awesome. I'm gonna text.
Should have texted Oliver.
Text Oliver. He said coming on at 10 because I don't want to prolong it too long. You still good? Okay, there we go. And yeah, so the scale electric cars. You know which cars impressed me? The Volvo wagon.
That is, it's sold out, eh? The other one's coming. Rydell car's gone. They sold out so quickly. Like Oliver got something crazy too, like 195 or 295, and they sold out. They're gone.
They're like, and they handle well. Like I got,
it's a beautiful looking car.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
and I definitely want to get the second livery of it because there's 2, right? Because that was, I mean, for us Canadians,
that was a good thing that you. Well, that's it. That's why you need to with me. You got a pre-sale, and then I'll make sure I get it for you.
No,
otherwise you wouldn't have got one.
No, I needed it because I had the 90, the SCX, and I had to pull out the motor.
Yeah, I've got
I replaced it with
Has yours got the steering on it? Your SCX
has
this. I've got one. I've got one of those. I've got it.
It's weird. It's weird, and I had to change the gear, and I got another gear. I'm going to put a 925 on there because I put a 926.
Yeah,
and it's not fast enough. The wagon is still faster.
yeah.
which I
It's
don't
that's
understand.
yeah, yeah.
Stock.
I've got it in. Well, that SCX doesn't drive great. It looks nice as far as the scale and has the steering, but it's not.
I think it's how the angle goes, and I thought it was the motor,
Yeah,
so I swapped out the motor for a slotted,
yeah,
and this is the motor, right? That comes in the SCX. It's got
yes,
that weird because it's all the copper at the bottom. So this is what's
yeah,
making the
yeah.
connection. There's no wires,
Right.
which is very cool.
It's running the flat strips of copper
And I
and
thought
the
that this
lighting
was
too.
and I thought that this was the culprit. I'm like, oh, the motor's not, So I put in a slotted motor, something like this, right? Just a standard quick slotted motor, and I don't even, is this slotted? I think it's a slotted one.
No,
And it still ran like meh. So I changed out the gear. I got a 25 tooth that I'm going to put in there, and I might have to go to a 24,
right.
because just to give it that, just to keep up with the wagon. And
Yeah.
it's a stock wagon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, but on analog, um,
No, I've
those
got
things more relaxed without the girls around them. Oh yeah, because of Monday Night Madness.
Where's Greg? I thought Greg was coming in.
Greg texts me every Saturday morning. Are you on? Are you on? I'm like, no, Greg. It's every second week. And the one Saturday that we're on, he's not here.
Yeah. Mark Pesh says the Volvo was an icon back in the day. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Let me go get them. And Slocker Hub is saying run the SX motor and water. Yeah, break it in. Yeah, I think I realized.
Is that for breaking in, or is he saying just drown it?
But it's such a weird design. Look at this thing. It's got like
Yeah, yeah.
and this is what fits in the pod, and that pod is so big that I had to super glue the other motor in, because the size difference
Yeah.
is not the same, right? And it's got all this funky stuff here, and it's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But that just
yeah.
fits the pod.
Well,
and
I,
thought,
I
yeah,
believe
yeah.
you could take that motor apart and change the commutators and everything. I've got their Pro Series cars, which is
It's a cheap motor.
I think it's also a Porsche Spider. It's a Spider anyway, or maybe a Bentley, and then you've got two chassis and different motors and a whole bunch of parts that you can tune it with. And they came in like a little collector box, but what ended up, I never played around with it. I just bought it and have it as one of my collections there. So you're getting your Volvo?
Yeah, I'm getting the Volvos, and it's because it's even that weird. So this is oh no, not this one. This is the SCX one, which is really nice.
Oh
And
no,
there's
I got the older one. I got the boxy. That's like the S70, isn't it? I've got the 850
Yeah, the S90, I think. So I
or
changed out.
S90. Yeah.
I gave it an axle kit upgrade. I changed out the motor. That's a 26 tooth gear. We're going to put in the 25.
Yeah, yeah.
And it comes with a pod. Like, I mean, the pod is neat,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And then, but the front.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know if I can change this out, because the front is on a weird sliding thing.
I'm sure somebody in Europe's figured that out. Like the Europeans have got everything for
Yeah, I don't like the
tuning
front wheels. They
stock
don't
cars.
turn as well, and
Well,
they seem like the same weight. But this car, man, out of the box, take
Yeah.
out the magnets, fantastic runner, fantastic. And this is what I'm talking about. If you've got that Carrera switch, right? If you've got an axle box and you're switching over, these cars at whatever 15 to the CU gives you 13.5 roughly to the
Yeah.
car. It's too hot, especially on a mag. You got to
Really?
lower it. So that's why we run now at 60% on our track, because when we run the Carrera cars, because of the weight and all that, it just really tames down the car, and
Yeah.
you can actually control it and have fun. And then as you get better or whatever, as you get more comfortable and want more of a
Right.
challenge, then
No,
you can up
exactly.
it. But then you
Yeah.
get what Mark was saying. You get that twitchiness of the car, and the car just wants to twitch out of the corners, and that's never good. Whenever you crank on a car and it starts shaking,
No.
you've got too much power going into it. So just
Yeah.
and that's what's great about the Carrera system. You can fine tune it to what
Well,
it is that you
remember
want.
we were getting that with the NSRs. We had that chatter. It had so much torque, and you'd come out and it was like, brrr.
Yeah, and it's one of those.
skipping.
Well, I did a video and I did a short where I took a slow motion, and then just by tightening up, because that's one of the tricks you can do, right? Like put in a harder chassis so there's less flex, tighten up your body float, and I did a comparison of like loose body float, medium, and then super hard, and it really cranks
You
down
did
the car.
You did do that? I haven't
It's
seen that one.
it's a short of like it's
Okay.
zoomed in on the back tire,
Yeah,
and you hear it.
you can actually see it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like the car just basically starts like getting possessed before it actually takes off.
Yeah.
Because the wheels are just like trying to
spinning.
grab that grip, and
Yeah.
so the tighter the car is, the less energy that is dissipating. Do I need to get my jacket? The less energy that's dissipating into the car gets stuck to the tires. So the looser
Yeah.
the car is. But again,
You could just freelance it. You don't need the jacket at this point.
Yeah.
We're not going to go into the minutia of it. We're just going to stick at the surface level.
well, what's happening is the temperature of the angle of the dangle.
Don't even get started on the temperature. Have you calibrated your heat gun? Like,
You mean my
or your,
blow torch?
your thermometer. Yeah. Like, when's the last time that was calibrated?
No, BMW M3 Touring killed it. P5 overall and fastest lap. Nice.
Yeah. Mark Pesh says he's repaired loads of them in the past. I guess he's talking about the SCX cars.
I would take any advice on those cars because I really want this car to run.
Yeah.
Jen loves Volvos, and that's the only reason why I bought this car.
Yeah.
And I know that Nico's got the running mate, the one all in green, which would be nice because if I can get a second S90 and then I can get a second Volvo
Yeah.
wagon, then I'll
Well,
have to get a 4.
Yeah, Nico's talking about BMW ran a car. It was like their fan request. So they did an estate or touring car at the 24-hour Nürburgring race, and they came 5th overall. And you guys see this thing; it's beautiful. So Area 71's already got it out as a 3D printed body and chassis. So I'm sure somebody will put it on.
Somebody wants.
Here's Mark. There's
He turns down. He tunes down. He turns down.
Tune down the speed for my analog. Also, yes.
His voltage, and that's what it is. And it's like, again, when we circle back to the Carrera cars, and I mean, if anyone's thinking about taking out the magnets or thinking about why their cars are not performing and worrying about tuning, because Carrera cars, the plug-and-play tuning of Carrera cars is fantastic. That's a great way to get into it, right? You got the slot invasion stuff. You got the plug-and-play guides.
Look, Nico says he's already ordered the TA71 BMW in 124. Oh, jeez. That's going to be beautiful. I want to see that, Nico.
Oh, Mark Pedge is saying no, he doesn't play with toys. He's talking about the real cars. He's the adult.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Mark. I was on about the real road cars. That's fantastic. I mean, if you could be and I don't mean this in an insulting any way, if you can be a grease monkey and you have the experience on that, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, my experience with that is working at the Walmart garage and changing oil and tires and whatnot, and I was having fun in my 20s.
Well,
but that's about it.
I sent you my friend's got the T5R Estate, the black one. I sent you a picture of it. He goes to there's a big Volvo meet in Pennsylvania where they all go up there and meet.
Nico, at what point, because that's another project, right? So you just started on the project. And we both had our talks about our project desks. So maybe we can motivate each other. If you get that car, what project are you willing to not do and send to me? Because Nico's got a desk that I'm trying to live up to. I'm not there yet. So how about we do this? How about we help each other? Whenever we start a new project, we take the last project we're working on and it just goes away. We have a maximum of 20 projects at a time. How about that? Does that make sense?
No, you can't do that. How can you do that?
No, I just want Nico's stuff.
Then you'd end up with incompleted projects. You need to prioritize things. They usually call it the volcano effect. So basically, yeah, it's the volcano or the volcano pyramid of importance. So you've got the most important things in the front of you, and the least are moving out to the periphery, right? So it's like it flows to the order of your projects. Most important in front, and everything to the side. The least important ones are out on the edges. It's a Anyway, Joe.
Okay, hold on.
We have Oliver. Oliver has arrived
here.
in this. Good morning.
What did I just do? Hold on. He's not on yet.
He's not on. You're not on yet. You can hear us, but you're not on the.
You keep on knocking, but you can't come in.
On the screen.
The logo's got to go on top.
Joe's pushing buttons here.
There we go. There we are.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Morning,
bonjour,
Oliver.
monsieur.
Germans here. What are you talking about? I don't know how I did it. I managed to match your shirts with the borders. That was totally not on purpose.
That's good work. Good work.
Yeah, good work for like one coffee. Yeah, pretty good. No Joe Body Repair, Mark saying the body for
So-
you know my desk. 20 won't work for me. That's what Nico's saying. Let me just catch up here a little bit. Sometimes Carter Dave says sometimes I wish
Let's.
I was a woman so I could multitask. Yeah. We won't go there. No, as I was reading it, I'm like, Oliver, how you doing this morning, man? Thank you for coming
Good.
on.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me.
No, of course, of course. Well, I was just sorry about. I wasn't trying to rush you. I was just trying to figure out if you were coming on or not. So normally we
Yeah,
cut
I
it
was
out an hour.
running a little bit late this morning. Actually, I was kind of messing around with some PC lap counter stuff this morning that I was playing with last night with some of the teams and stuff. And so then I started just looking at this morning. I'm like, I'm just gonna look at it real quick, and then something wasn't showing up right, so I'm like, I just gotta fix it. And then you go down a rabbit hole. You know what I mean? And then,
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
got a little bit behind this morning.
How did you
Louis-
learn all that stuff? Because the last couple times that I mean, speaking of about events and whatnot, and because that's what we've been talking about all morning is the Gilmore, the AMSCO, and whatnot. And you're the guy behind the track all the time, putting it all together. Where did you learn all this stuff?
Well, I think I saw some of the stuff that those guys were doing overseas that I always thought was kind of cool, right? So that's when we because we've done MSR events and stuff. I've worked with Cloverleaf and Mike for years here doing those events. So, it just at one point I just said, hey, it'd be really cool if we could kind of set up tracks like those guys do, right? Like one of the first things I ever remember, in this business was there was I think it was called Slot Moss, I think is what it was called, but it was a Spanish slot car magazine, and my dad had a few copies of it laying around the shop,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you, that was really cool. Like you'd open it up and you'd see like they do these events at these venues where they'd have all these they had a lot of rally tracks set up with really high detail and stuff, but just, huge halls of multiple tracks and all this cool stuff. And I always thought that was fantastic. I thought that was really cool. So I always wanted to try and figure a way to kind of get to where we could do events and set up tracks. And, I mean, we're definitely not to where those guys were for sure, as far as, all the detail and stuff they put in there. But, it's something we're working towards, trying to get, more interesting visual scenery on the stuff as we go along. But yeah, being able to set up the different tracks, I think, is cool for the racers because they get to go to a place that you don't have a home court advantage on, right? So it makes it interesting for guys coming from out of town. It's a different layout every time. So I always just thought that was kind of a cool way to do it. And I remember seeing that, like I said, very first thing when I came into this business years and years ago. I remember. That was one of the things that really kind of captured my attention, and I really wasn't able to do a lot of it for a long time. I mean, for a long time I was soldering controllers, man. I was making controllers, and it wasn't until I started kind of taking over more and more things here that allowed us to do those types of things. So
Okay, so it was more of a hands-on experience. Like you didn't go to school for
no,
electronics or-
no,
Okay.
there's no slot car class at college that I was able to take, but.
No. Oliver's immersed in it.
Yes, that's one way to put it for sure. Immersed is a good word.
For those of you who are joining us, and for those of you who may not know, Oliver is the owner of Professor Motor in Saline, Michigan.
Well, technically, that's Mom now, Joe. Now, Mom is technically the boss around here.
Sorry. Okay.
I'm second in command. Okay, Mom's,
Okay.
Okay,
we've got
And Warren knows. You can ask Warren about that. He's been there.
I've witnessed this. This is true.
All right, so we got Oliver, the XO of Professor Motor, first officer, running Professor Motor, and Warren and Oliver have a great relationship and a lot of good collaboration going on here. So for those of you who don't know, that's what we're promoting right now, Professor Motor and the Gilmore Classic. And Oliver has taken some time out of his day to come and talk about it, because I was like, oh, we'll get you on in another 2 weeks, but another 2 weeks, that's the race.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's going to be the race then. Yeah.
yeah.
So there's a couple of things I wanted to make sure that people were aware about and that we're clear on, and just correct me if I'm mistaken. But there will be 2 races, correct?
Correct.
An hour and a half each.
Well, we're doing 2.5 hours each, actually.
2.5 hours each. Okay.
Two and a
Yep,
half hours
two and a
each.
half hours each.
Okay. So I'll bring a lunch. And
Well,
my
yeah. Now there is a couple of nice there's like a little diner and stuff there, so there's
okay.
there's a couple of spots you can grab some food there, and we plan to break for an hour for lunch, so you'll have some time to get some lunch in. So.
Okay.
Nice.
Right on. And so the first race will be a magnet race, Scalextric, correct? With 2 different
Correct.
classes. You can either run a GT class or a LMP class.
Mhm.
That's correct. Okay. And those both classes, because you're using the oxygen system, we'll be able to run both classes on the same at the same race, basically,
Correct.
Si-
Yep.
Okay.
simultaneously.
simultaneously.
Hmm.
Yes, at the Gilmore. Will Marty live stream like last year? Lucifer is asking. Raul has signed on for this one, so there will be a live stream. So I can. Sorry, I didn't need to answer
No,
that.
no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, we will have a live stream. It will be Raul's taking over this one. Marty unfortunately could not make it, but regardless, I mean, I think having multiple live streamers available really helps the hobby out. Because if one person can't make it, then we
Absolutely.
can. And Raul has been, he's been getting a lot of compliments, and Raul really enjoys that. That's what he strives in.
Yeah.
Is doing. He loves the camera work and whatnot. So I think we've got a really winning team here. Marty on one side and Raul on the other. I wish I could have Marty on here, come on and talk about how balancing live streaming and racing. I kind of ditched Raul last time. I'm like, yeah, I'll help you. I'm like, no, I got to race. I'm like,
That's
you're on your own,
that.
buddy.
Yeah, that's a challenge. That
Yeah,
is a challenge to balance the two, for sure.
Yeah.
but yeah, unfortunately, guys, you'll be seeing more of my face too at the Gilmore, because Raul was like, you better help me this time, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I promise. That's why our team is 4. It's myself, Mike Big Oak, Warren, myself, Michael, Warren, and who's our no Warren and
Ma-
Mike, Warren and me and Raul.
maybe Massimo.
Oh yeah, Massimo, if ever he calls me.
Maybe.
If he doesn't book another GQ
Another
photo
GQ
shoot.
shoot.
All right, so in the beginning we're gonna have the full magnet Scalextric race, GT and LMP running at the same time, and then after that it's a non-mag race, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Now, and we're gonna have super tires be handed out. Pam's mixing me up a couple just unique tire, kind of a mixed color tire for the event.
Oh,
She sent
cool.
me a message of it, a text message the other day with a picture of it. So those will be cool. We'll hand those out for both classes, and you will need to on this surface for sure. You're going to want to have that teammate be able to pit your car and dust the tire, or clean the dust off your tires and whatnot, right? Because
Yeah.
once you get the silicone tires on that smooth surface of the scale electric track, you are going to need to
Clean
have
them.
a pit team that's going to clean the tires for sure.
And that's like a tie-dye compound kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah. She told me. I guess she was doing it for somebody else, and she says, because I asked her, I said, well, I was thinking about a specific color or something,
Yeah.
and she goes, well, yeah, I do a mix for another guy. I said, well, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'll do that. That sounds cool. So
Nice.
I told her what colors, I wanted, and she mixed them up and sent me a text. I was like, yeah, hey, that'll be cool. That'll work.
Awesome.
Oh, that'd be awesome. So to help
That'd be neat.
identify what's going on, we had a question from Mark asking. I just had it up. Sorry, and now I
Yeah.
lost it.
I posted the rules and the details page for the Professor Motors from the website. I posted that in the chat too, so if anyone who's looking for has any questions, they can go there too and look it up.
Absolutely. And I mean, we got Oliver here, so all the questions are here. He's like, "What's the difference between the classes for us that don't know me?"
Um,
Oliver can answer that.
Well, certainly. So in the classes, we've kind of, with the GT and the hypercar, right? In scale electric and the magnet class, which is kind of the way we differentiate a lot of the stuff with the local club here is it'll be kind of like a potted or a non-potted type car, right? So you're looking at like a Carrera or Scale Electric, as the non-potted, and a slotted or NSR or something like that as a potted car, right? So the first one being the non-potted, having both. Now the classes are going to be the same in either one, right? So you're going to see either the hypercars by any of the manufacturers in the second race that do hypercars, right? That are potted, whether that's the Toyota that slotted does,
Yep.
whether that's the new hypercar that NSR has out, or whether that there's a couple hypercars that Scale
Yep.
Auto has out, right? BMW and a Lamborghini now, I think, and the like. So,
Yep.
there's a couple there that they can pick from. Yep, that's one of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a BMW there. That's a nice
Yeah.
one.
There's the
So,
Peugeot.
yep, yeah, I forgot about that. The Peugeot, yeah.
Yeah.
So you got a couple options with that, right? But in the first race where we're running with Magnus, you really got a Porsche 963 or the Cadillac, hypercar. There's the 963. Yep. So you really don't have a, this guy must have a store or something. He's got everything over there. Um,
Have
so
connections.
yeah. So there's a couple options in the first race, right? I did narrow it down a little bit on the GT side. So with the GT cars, I think we had the Mustangs, we had an Aston Martin, we had a Corvette, we had, a couple others, right?
Yeah.
The new Porsche they did was one of them. But what I tried to do was limit the number of cars only based on tire compound so that it was easier. So I kind of knew, okay, hey, listen, these 6 cars take one of these 2 tires. Then I don't have to bring,
Hmm.
a million different tires with me. Just trying to keep it a little bit easier. So, and most all of those cars were available, if not from here, somewhere locally that you could go get them, right? So
Yeah.
that was the other thing is like I wanted people to be able to say, hey, I want to participate. Let me go get one of the cars to do it. They're all readily available, basically. If you shop around, you'll find them. Again, like I said, at Warren's place, I'm sure you have um, cars for that one, or wherever you look, right? So, just trying to make it easy for guys to get in.
Hmm.
Fantastic. And the list is there. The link, go to professormotor.com, and in the events page, you'll find all the information for the type of cars, what the rule sets are. But just quickly, for both cars, it's for the potted race for this car right here, right? So if I entered this car, obviously it's missing tires, but um, it's basically stock. Anything NSR, I'm allowed to upgrade this. Anything NSR,
Right,
correct?
right, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've left it open similar to how we did the last race with the Can-Am stuff, right? Allow you to upgrade the car as you see fit within the commercially available parts for the car, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm going as tough as chassis as possible, so that way, if I get knocked off, the car will survive.
Is that
we'll hold on.
is that your reasoning behind that chassis?
This is why I will always go NSR. I think that the flexness of this chassis handles really, really well. We had the car fall off the table, Warren, and we still managed to, pull
Yeah.
first place, and
And
And so I-
and got rear-ended
rear-ended right at the end. There, the guys started.
times.
Well, we lost our back bumper, right? I mean, that
Into
was-
the fence. Yeah, yeah. Erdman did a quick pit stop for us and just
Yeah.
ripped it off.
yeah.
And I have that. I have it in. I still have that car in its case with the bumper hanging off and all the pieces in there.
Oh, nice. It's in
Just like
action
it
mode.
finished. Yeah.
But I also want to say that because I think this is part of the rules as well. The only reason why I will be entering this car is because it has all the pieces on it. I have no missing wings. I have no missing mirrors, and that's one of the rules, right? Like the car has to be original.
We have to just start with all the parts, right? That's all. You start with all the parts. Again, I mean, if you lose a mirror during the race, we're not going to ask you to, to glue it back on in the pits, right?
Yeah.
But as long as you're starting with all the parts on the car to start with, is what we're
What I
shooting.
love about the NSRs though is that I mean I don't know if it's for every car, but I mean you can just it's got those retractable mirrors, so
Yeah,
you're
they
race
fold
ready.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're race ready. Kind of smart.
I'll tell you, I like when they do the rubber stuff on those cars, man. I mean, that to me is the best way to do it, so that the stuff just, the tear-proof
something-
stuff, it's rubberized or whatever. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is not even
Holds up a lot better.
flexi wing. This is not even the proper flexi wing, but NSR does a really good job of, you know, um, that way
Here's-
if it does come out. Oh, there you go. There's the red one.
That was from the Nationals, or the regional,
Oh, nice.
the East Coast National, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have something for green chassis, you and me. Yeah, the crashability, Anders, for sure. The crashability of the car is spot on.
Just so you know, during qualifying, I kept on missing the qualifying at the Nationals, like because I was chatting, so I got distracted, and somehow one of the guys grabbed my car, and he qualified, and he ended up in the fourth group with my car, and I ended up in the seventh group with my car, just to show you.
Well, that was the same thing with Johnny Hobby. I lent him a car. He got in 2 groups higher than me with
Yeah.
my car that I tuned, and I'm like,
Yeah, and yes, yeah.
that's a blow to the ego to be like,
No, well,
"Oh,
that's
really that bad
it
of a
was
driver?"
learning. We were learning.
Right. Right.
It's all a learning experience.
All right. Okay, so take us through the day. When's it going to start? What can we expect? Is there a practice day beforehand?
Yeah, we do have practice open the night before on Friday, right? So we're going to have practice the night before. We're actually going to get there Thursday to set up. So we'll have everything set up on Thursday. We'll make sure everything's working, functioning properly. And then on Friday, we'll have, part of Friday in case we need to make any alterations, adjustments, or any changes. And then Friday afternoon, we'll have practice open up. So we'll get a few hours of practice on Friday. We're going to keep, I believe it's an hour. I penciled in, or 45 minutes of practice for anybody that maybe hadn't shown up on Friday, like didn't have the opportunity to get there Friday, right? So if they show up early on Saturday, we'll give them at least a little bit of time to get some practice on the track, right, before we tech them and qualify them and get started. So, because I know not everybody's going to be coming up, staying overnight, or either. Oh, now you can bring your camper up there too, right? Which I don't know if I mentioned that last time, but yeah, and some people do. John will, right? John's going to bring a camper up, and so he'll just be on They have like hookups for campers. So if you have a camper and you want to bring that up, I want to say it's like $50, I think, for the day or whatever, right? So they hook up with the electrical and water and whatnot, right? So it's, if you're able to do something like that, it's helpful. You don't have to worry about going out to a hotel or whatever, right? You can just bring the camper and park it right there, which is nice. So, but not everybody's going to do that, obviously. So, the guys that don't get there Friday night, they'll have an opportunity to get a little practice in the morning before we qualify and tech.
Okay. We have a question. I think Warren answered it, but are there specific controllers that we need to invest in for these races?
So we're going to provide. You can bring them, right? If you have an SCP-3 that you want to run, or even an SCP-2, you could bring too as well, right? But if you have your own and you want to use it, totally fine. If you don't have a controller, we'll provide an SCP-3 for you to drive the car. So, for those of the viewers that aren't familiar with that slot, it's latest controller. It's very nice. I've raced with it a bunch of times, in Chicago with Mark and the guys doing a lot of testing. So, they're really nice controllers. They're wireless, and again, you could, if somebody does want to invest in one, like if you guys did, then yeah, you can get cartridges and, run them in analog races or anything else, right? It's a really versatile controller. So it's a good piece if you want to invest in it.
Yeah. A lot of people don't understand it, that you've got all the cartridges. You can be wired, wireless, and take it from one SSD, oxygen, and Carrera.
yeah.
You just switch it out. One controller.
Yeah, well, and somebody when I was in Chicago just recently doing, again, I go out there, we try and, do a little testing every time I go out. But that was one of the things the guys had said. They said, hey, if you have, because they do have that wireless module that you can get. So if you can actually use, and I didn't know this, but you can use an SCP-3 wirelessly, kind of, right? So like you have the wireless dongle that you communicate with the controller, and then you can get the digital dongle for Carrera, and you can plug it in as a wired controller for Carrera, but it will be wireless because you'll be talking to the dongle. So, which was pretty cool. I never even, I guess I should have thought about that, but I never really, I just never thought about it. But a little more expensive to do it that way because you have a couple other things kind of involved in that setup, but it doesn't directly connect. But but you can do it anyways.
Yeah.
I'm always uh, cautious and nervous about wireless when we're in in a room, just because we had that first issue with the Frankenslots, but it seems like the SCPs tend to stay in their channels and have less interference.
Yeah.
Because for Carrera races, I think moving forward, and we spoke about this, I think it'll be a wired. The controllers will be wired so that there's no chance of any type of interference. I just think Carrera uses a lower frequency, which can be interruptible, where the SCP, I think Maurizio thought about that, and it seems like a more solid connectivity, like we did at the Can-Am. I was very impressed at how no one had any connectivity issues whatsoever.
Those controllers are pretty impressive. I gotta say that. I mean, the only time I've ever seen any issue with loss of control in any kind of testing that we did was if somebody had a battery that was expiring, right? Like if their battery was dying, then yeah,
Yeah.
then you ended up with a problem. But I mean, as long as you don't have that, I've never seen a problem with those, which is pretty spectacular.
Are we having a swap meet? Will there be a swap meet?
The
Is a
problem is I
question.
don't think we'll have really the space for that. You know, no, you're talking about the Gilmore, right?
Yeah, it was a question. It
Yeah.
was,
So we've talked about that. We won't at this event for sure, but we have talked about doing something maybe later on in the year, some over the fall or winter, where because they do a lot of events throughout the year, right? One of the things that we thought might be interesting, would be to join up with another one of the events they do, whether it's one of the German things they do in October, or they got they have all kinds of different events that they do all throughout the year or whatever. So we could potentially do something like that. I know Phil has talked about that quite a bit. You know, uh, we've talked to the main guy over there, Nick, and it
and
sounds
there,
like that could be something we could do, but I don't have
okay.
any plans at the moment.
I'm pretty surprised. I mean, I would think that Gilmore might have concerns about selling products other than their own on the premises. So I assume that that would be the reason why they wouldn't want to swap meet and
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, Nick never seemed to be against it for any reason, so we're hopeful that at
Mhm.
some point we can kind of schedule that in. I know, again, like I said, me and Phil have talked about it multiple times. We just haven't really found a spot where it worked out well with everything. So, but that's still something we would like to do because I think that would be cool. For guys, again, great venue for guys that haven't been there. It's a really, really neat venue.
No, yeah, no, I'm excited to go back. But like you said before, we will not be outside. We're going to be indoors, correct this time?
Correct. Yeah, yeah. We'll be in their main building when you come in.
Right on.
So when you come in the front door of the building, we're literally, I don't know, maybe 20 feet down the hallway or something to the right. They have a big banquet room that we'll be in, which is like their main banquet area in the main building. So
Right on. I want to mention one more thing. Well, just something before I forget. I wrote it down this time, so before my brain gets all scattered. Uh, for those people who want to join but do not have a team, you have a consistency for this, correct?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you go into the actual link on the website, right, there'll be a link to another spot where you can just join per person. So if there was somebody that said, "Hey, I want to go participate, but I don't have a team," what we would do is, I'd have you register through there. And so it's not a team registration, right? There's a link in that description that you'll click on, and it'll be $30 instead of the 90 for the three-person team. And you can register that way, and then we can just add you to a team, right? We'll just put you on, one of the teams that we have. And it looks like we got a few guys coming. I got two teams registered from Mississippi that are coming up. One of our dealers down there in Mississippi.
Nice.
I think he's been with us for now a year, but the guys have been kind of getting pretty heavy into it, with the slots and stuff. And I think they race with Cunningham and some of the other guys, I want to say, out in that kind of Memphis area as well at times. But I know they know Jim, and I talked with Jim actually at the last Ham School event, and so I'm still waiting to hear back. He said he may have a couple of teams. So if Jim does end up, coming with a couple guys from Arkansas, we'd be looking at 12 teams. So,
Fantastic. Fantastic.
yeah, so we'll
That's
we'll end
awesome.
up with a good group, and should be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Racing with Jim the first year at Gilmore was definitely a pleasure. Those guys come prepared. That's for
Yeah, they
sure.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, it'll be fun. It'll definitely be fun. So for those of you who are
We're gonna have to get him to touch our car because he was the last person to touch our car last time.
yeah.
Yes, like it'd be like, Jim, here, just touch it,
Yeah, just
Just
put
that's
a
what
good
happened.
mojo on it. Put a good mojo on it.
right?
Yeah, so this is a digital race. It is a two-lane track with as much as 8 to 12 cars on the track, depending on what group you're in. And we'll be racing two different classes, like a Le Mans. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Any tips on the rule set? Like if you're trying to pass, because I mean at this point, are the GT cars going to be faster than LMPs? Or are we expecting the LMPs to be faster than the GTs for stock cars? How?
I would expect the LMPs to be faster for sure, especially in the no mag. Absolutely. When we look at the magnet cars, the Skeletor cars, those are going to be a lot closer because the motors will always be the same, right? They're going to be always geared the same, so you're going to see a little bit difference in handling potentially, right? With those cars, being that the GT cars will sit up a little bit higher than than the hypercars will, but. So you'll see a little bit of difference there, but I don't think it'll be quite as obvious when you compare the no magnet cars. Because once you go into the no magnet situation, now you're changing all kinds of different componentry. You got really a pretty large difference in weight in the vehicles. I think from the hypercar to the GT car, because some of those hypercars are they got with the Swiss cheese chassis, man. They don't weigh very much.
Yeah.
And that's a challenge getting a chip actually in some of the, well, it's a real challenge getting a chip in one of those cars actually is finding a spot for the sensor or finding, a spot for the chip. That's actually probably the biggest challenge with the potted, cars, that are the hypercars, because the hypercars are the ones that are very, like I said, Swiss cheese chassis. There's not a lot of material in some cases to mount stuff
Mhm.
to, so
Yeah.
that'll be a little challenging for them. But I do expect to see a significant difference, and that's what I'm hoping for, right? Like I want to see how we do with a couple of different classes because, as I've told Warren in the past, where I want to end up is I want to end up with 20, maybe 20 minimum, maybe more, but 4 different classes where we have not only the different cars, maybe we spec some different motors, we have some some other things we can work on, right? A GT1, a GT2, an LMP, a hypercar, just like you'd see at Sebring. Like to
Yeah.
me, I think that would be a phenomenal race. I think it would be a lot of fun to see all those cars running at the same time.
Just like real life.
Well, with
That'd
oxygen,
be amazing.
so with oxygen, basically with the maximum of 20 cars, you could potentially have, and yes, you guys saw me do mental math right there.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. You could have 4 different classes on there of 5 cars each.
Oh, sure, sure. Now, my thought, and I was thinking about this the other day, right? So technically, if we had enough people that were really interested in doing it, right, you could, if you wanted to, kind of run it how some of these other analog races are done, right? Because you can have multiple tracks. So you can have one track at 20 and another track at 20. So I could set up 2 identical butterfly tracks and you could have 40 people racing. And then you could take the top, whatever, 20 or top, the top and do a semifinal type final race on a track after you did a 3-hour race, then you could take a final after that or something, right? Or if we just put 2 classes on one and a couple classes on the other, then you could potentially do 40 that way too. But I think 20 is probably a pretty good number, I would think.
For the chip placement from last year, what I did is I put the MPL chip right underneath the dashboard. Our chip was actually in the body with the wires hanging down, and that gave it more, so I don't know if that helped. It changes the center of gravity like minimally because of the weight of the chip, but I think not having it on the chassis and being banged around anytime the car crashed.
The only issue with that is, remember that this chip, the C1 chip, which I would, anybody interested in the digital racing, I would say go out and get one and start messing with it. Is the problem not the problem, but the issue is the capacitor that's on there. The MPL was nice and flat, where this one has a little bump.
It's got
Yeah.
it's got the capacitor bump.
So
on it,
am I
yes.
allowed? Can we clear this up? Am I allowed to make a
Yep.
hole in the body in the cockpit to
Yeah, so what we're allowing for is any modification that is reasonable modification for adaptation of the chip, right? So as you know, if again, if you have to make a little hole, even if you have to put in a little bit of plastic strut or something in order to mount the Hall sensor on one of those hypercars, we have to allow for that to be done, right?
Yeah.
Now, again, if you're taking a chassis and punching a bunch of holes in it, then it's a problem, obviously. But anything that's reasonable
So
to facilitate the chip.
yeah, you're talking about that.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the cap right there. That's
yeah.
you're
So
Yep.
talking.
sometimes,
And that's
you might have to put a little hole in there. You might have to, maybe trim the feet off the driver or something, because his feet are right where the cap is or something. Like, I mean, again, we're not gonna, as long as it's reasonable, is all we're asking, right? I mean, if
Mhm.
somebody says, "Well, I had to remove the entire interior of the car because I couldn't fit the chip in," that's not reasonable, right? So, reasonable modification to facilitate the fitment of the chip is what we're doing.
Just ideas that pop into my head because Oliver, by now that I have a lot of them, is that would be, what about Lexan for the future? Maybe just saying, because if it's going to be multiple, which I think is fantastic, allowing people to use multiple manufacturers. What are your thoughts on in the future saying, hey, listen, just put a Lexan cockpit in there and
Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So especially in the potted cars, that makes a lot of sense, right? Because they make Lexan interiors for all those cars, and again, they're kind of more intended for modification anyways than your stock car.
Mhm.
And guys entering in that class are going to be a little bit more familiar with doing that, right? So I think that's a great idea. I really want to keep the scale electric one kind of easy for guys to get in, so that if there is somebody that's racing in the basement, right, and they say, hey man, that sounds like a cool event, I'd like to do it, they can get a car and a chip and they're done, right? That's it.
Mhm.
And they don't have to worry about modifying it, really, hopping it up, tuning it, really anything, right? Because it's basically a stock car.
Yeah.
We change the tires on it and away we go. So, but yeah, having the Lexan interior available is a, absolutely a good idea.
Because the only reason I really bring it up is
And
because that was another, um, another one of my hangups was like, well, I don't want to ruin an interior and whatnot, but the cockpits in these bodies come off real easy. There's
Yeah.
usually a maximum of 4 little plastic solder points where it's melted. You just take a little heat gun to that, or a soldering iron, and even the slot, it's just snap right off, and you can put them right back in. So if
yeah,
anybody wanted to like reinstall those cockpits for whatever reason, you can save the cockpit, and the Lexans fit perfect because you just cut it out,
well,
put a couple glue points, a
yeah.
little bit of black paint if you have any on you,
If
Warren. I don't.
Yeah, if anybody hasn't seen the NSR catalog, it has literally everything and anything as far as accessories, including the Lexan cockpits for
Because
almost
that
all the
cockpit
cars.
is going to save you so much space because it's hollow underneath, and it'll be a lot easier to start
Yeah,
putting these digital chips in there.
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, and I don't. I, now that you're saying that, Joe, I don't think that I actually specifically did. I specifically call out non-Lexan chassis or non-Lexan interiors in there?
I didn't see it in
No,
the rules, and that's why
no.
I'm kind
Okay.
of bringing it up. So
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So I would say, because that's not specifically called out as having to require the original chassis into the car, that is an accessory part that is commercially available, made by the manufacturer for every vehicle. So to me, I would argue that that would be perfectly acceptable to add a Lexan interior to those modified cars.
you don't have to argue anything; it's your rules.
Yeah, yeah, I would say that's fine.
Okay.
Because like I said, it is commercially available.
mhm.
And like I said, they're made for every car. It's anybody can get them. Easy, and that would make it easier for guys to put the chips in. So.
Vince, I think we just answered that. Vince has a question. In the race for the Scalextric race, can you remove the interior like Mark did?
No, so on
Why is it doing that?
in the scale electric race, we want everything to be stock as much as possible, right? Now there you may have to put a little hole or something if need be, or make a small alteration to it if need be, to clear the chip. But you really on the scale electric, it's got to be a stock car, and the intention of that again, keep it easy for people to get in and participate and do it, right?
Mhm.
For those people that aren't, aren't heavy into to racing right now, but want to get into it or want to try it or want to do it, having a stock type class, allowing them to come in to say, yeah, hey, it's not a huge investment. You know, you get a car, you get a chip, and then you're able to do it, right? And you don't have to worry about, well, I don't have years of experience tuning these cars, right? Because at the end of the day, there's really not much you're going to do other than grease and oil the car underneath the rules in a stock class that you can do to the car, right? So
Mhm.
makes it easy for people. And that's what we're trying. We really want to try and get people in the hobby, right? I know there's going to be the guys that are serious, they're enthusiasts, right? And that's great. And they're always going to participate because they're enthusiasts. But what we need to be able to do is we need to be able to get more people in the hobby. And that's one of the things I'm always thinking about how can we do that, right? I mean, when we were talking before, and Raul, has done some other gaming events and stuff, and you had said, hey, there's hundreds of people that show up to these events. I keep thinking to myself, well, how in the heck do we get hundreds of people, to show up and to do stuff, right? How can we make it easy for people to get in? How can we make it, simple for anybody, guys, girls? I mean, we're, underrepresented with females in our hobby, obviously. I mean, it's
Yeah.
mostly guys that are running cars, right? So how do
I'm
we
gonna
get kids
call.
in?
I'm gonna call Scarlett Johansson right now. I'm gonna call Angelina Jolie. Get them into slot cars, and you will
There you
see
go.
thousands coming. I'm sure. I'm
Yeah,
sure
that
that's all
that
we
would
need.
help. That would
Some pop
help, right? I
culture,
mean, that
right?
would
I
help.
think we just need some pop.
Yeah.
I'll call Beyonce. Get her to do a show.
Hey, yeah, pop on and get on the show for you, and
That's
talk
it.
about slot cars.
I'll call Tom Cruise. Be like, bro,
Yeah,
come talk about your
yeah,
your
Taylor
collection.
Swift, Joe. Taylor Swift.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
all.
That's
exactly.
not my
Yeah, if
generation.
you
Get all
had
the
her, then
Swifties.
That's
get
not
All
my
the
all the Swifties
generation.
Swifties.
racing. You'd be all
All
right.
they'll be
We'll get the
running out to the
Patriots. We'll get Tom
tracks.
Brady to come in and.
But I mean, if you think about it, right? I mean, this is one of the activities, right? That again, you don't. It's not a huge investment, and anybody can do. Anybody. You
Yeah.
don't. You know what I mean? You don't have to be. You don't have to be an engineer. You don't have to be a guy. You can be a kid. You can be an old person, a young person. You can, you can be in a wheelchair, as
Yeah.
long as you can, I mean, there's so many opportunities, I think, for people to be able to do this hobby. And again, it, I just feel like we need to continue to push it out there, continue to show people that, hey, man, this is a great hobby. It's a lot of fun. It's very easy and inexpensive to get into. I mean, I was talking to some of the guys about some of the RC stuff, right? I mean, the RC stuff is cool too, but I'll tell you, there's a barrier to entry in there, right? I mean, and
Hmm.
it comes in the form of money. I mean, in a lot of cases with some of the RC stuff, it's very, very expensive to do sometimes, right? So, for some people, that's going to be a barrier to getting into that activity. So, I want to try and support kind of all of the different branches of the hobby that we can, from the guys that are enthusiasts, have done it for a long time, that are hardcore racers, that love to modify the cars, change the cars, all of that stuff, right? Analog to digital to any of that, but also, hey man, we got to bring in new people. If you're not bringing in new people, we're going to have a problem. 5, 10 years down the road, you'll have a big problem if we can't get in, younger generation and new people in the hobby. So that's what my focus has always been, kind of solely on. So,
Yeah.
and
And I
actually,
don't think.
that is one of the things that the new owner of Scale Electric had mentioned to me on the phone when we were discussing things. It was like, hey, how do we keep people engaged, from whether from being kids to teenagers to young adults to adults to elderly? How do we keep all of those groups engaged, right? How do you keep them you know engaged for a lifetime, not just, well, when I was a kid I played with them, or now that I'm retired and I got grandkids that play with them, right? So how do we keep people involved the whole time and engaged? So that's
And I think the answer to that is putting on events. So I
oh yeah,
think,
for
and
sure.
I'm sure I'm going to speak for of our listeners and anyone watching this video is thank you, Oliver, for doing that. It's not just anybody who's putting on events, whether it's Amsco, whether it's yourself, whether it's you know the guys in Europe or the NSRs or Andreas coming down, anybody who's able to spend the time and dedicate that much time to putting on events so people talk about it and people can get together. I think that's number one. right? Showing that there is support in the community, because it's great to race in our basements, but it's also great to get out there and meet the guys if you're able, right? For those of us
Sure,
who are able, and
absolutely,
I
yeah.
think that's how you get people coming in. Say, hey, let's make a family trip, especially places like the Gilmore, right? I've already discussed it with Jen. We're thinking of coming probably with the kids as well, if work comes up, and I think that's something that's um, very unique to us, right? Where you can say, hey, let's grab the family, let's go, right? Because we've never been. If we're going to travel that far, we might as well make a weekend out of it, right? Like
Yeah, well, and that is something I think that, certainly moving forward, we're always going to kind of look at too, I think, is how can you make it a more family friendly environment, right? How can you make it? And again, we saw that down in Ohio. There were some families that would show up, because there was a couple young guys there that were racing too. But
Mhm.
I mean, that's what you want to be able to do, right? You want to be able to have the whole family come out and and either participate or have something there that they can do, and like you said, kind of make more of an event weekend or vacation out of it for people, that's family friendly.
Yeah, no, seeing the younger kids was definitely a positive, and definitely a good sign, because those younger kids will have friends, and what do you want to do on the weekend? Well, why don't you come over? And then that's how, right? We need our agents, we need our young our
Oh, sure,
young
yeah,
agents getting
yeah,
their friends into
yeah.
it, and then hooking up on the YouTube, because that's all they do, right? They're just going to look up on the
Oh, yeah.
YouTube, and hopefully they find us and they're not totally scared away. But other than that, it's fantastic. I think, like you said, to answer that question, how do we keep people? My answer to that is putting on events as much as we can, and as you know, these events don't really render. I don't really render. I think it's a labor of love. I'll just say that.
Yes, yeah, that is, yeah, and that's a good way to put it.
It's a
I'll put,
yeah, yeah, it's
yeah.
a
It's
massive undertaking, and we appreciate it, Oliver.
I
Everything
mean,
you do.
Warren and I were just saying, what's his name, who just bought a mansion? What was the conversation we had? And he said, "Oh yeah, what's his name just bought a mansion?" Because he was doing slot cars, and we're like, "Oh yeah,
Oh
who was
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Nobody."
wow, yeah,
Nobody.
yeah. Said nobody, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But no, it's fun, man. I mean, and so the Gilmore digital race happening June 27th. Come down. You will have. That was the last thing I wanted to mention, because it's coming on to that second hour, so we're gonna wrap it up. But you will have a few cars available for people if someone doesn't have a.
Yeah, so the intention is I'm going to bring a few cars extra, right? In the event that we have, well, and another thing I want to mention too is you can have two cars, right? So
Okay.
Hmm.
we've allowed for a backup car for everybody, so that if something happens, the car does get smashed, fall off the table, catastrophically fail, that at least you're going to be able to continue racing, right? And not just have to be like, oh, that's it, I'm done, right? So we've made that concession so that guys can continue to race, but we will have stuff available for people that if they show up, again, let's say I get three guys, individuals that show up and hey, they want to race together or whatever, but they were thinking, hey, will they be thrown on a team? So maybe they don't have a car. Well, we'll provide a car. Or maybe we have another team that already is racing in the Scale Electric and was like, well, you know what? Maybe it would be cool to race in the other one, but we'd never prepared a car or something. Hey, you know what? We'll try and find a car. I'll have a car that you can race, just so that they can participate if they want to, right? So the more cars we get on the track, the more people will get participating, the better. So we'll try and make that as easy as we can for people. So even if they do show up to race, whether we put them on a team or whether we team them up with another individual or two that's done the same thing and get them cars to race, we'll have that ability to do that.
Awesome. And I think that's it, man. I mean, nailed it on the head right there. I mean, making
Yeah.
the ease of entry, um, very easy, I guess. The ease of entry, making it available for everybody, I think
Yeah,
is
and the
one of the
Gilmore is
important.
a fantastic location. It's beautiful.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
if you can keep doing an annual Gilmore, I think that is a great entry for everybody. Just because when we went, there was cars all outside. It was a show, and Mark was talking about people watching you, and it was like not only are slot car people watching me for my first event, but the public is coming
oh
in
yeah,
saying, "Hey, what's this? What's this? What's this?" Which I think is fine. And Phil took a great, he did a great job taking care of that and talking to the people, and he had his little table there with the Carrera set up, which is I think great for the hobby itself. I don't want to not mention Phil Carpenter. A lot of good work there in the background doesn't get mentioned as often, but yeah, that was stressful and fun at the same time, because the Gilmore is a public event, and I'm sure it's not. It'll be open to that room that we're in will be open to
Oh
the
yeah,
public, right?
absolutely, it'll be open so people can come in, and like you said, you'll see a bunch of people coming through through the museum or through the car show or
Yeah.
whatever, and then they'll come in to get a breather maybe from the heat or whatever at a different time. So we'll have some people for sure coming through and at least getting exposed to slot car racing that may never have been exposed to it before. So.
That weekend that we're there is the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals as well. We'll be there. It's the RPM Real
Okay.
Performance Meetup powered by Macan. Bigger, faster, and louder. This
Right on.
event celebrates full spectrum of muscle and performance cars, 63 to current.
There you go, Mr. Greg
That's it.
Hazel, Mr. Clearwater 124. We were talking about you at the beginning of the podcast. There you go. You got your Corvettes, buddy.
Yeah, it's
One
a
reason
great
not to
show,
come.
man. It's a really cool show.
Fantastic. All right,
Keep playing
Warren, is
close.
there anything you want to? Because we're gonna have to wrap it up here.
Nope. I'm all good. I
You
will
good?
speak to you guys during the week.
Oh, all right, Oliver. Any last? You want to mention something?
Nothing really. Just go out there and support Warren, support your local guys, your local shops, and keep those guys, keep those guys in mind when you're out there shopping for your parts for any event, whether it's this race or a different one.
Guys, keep Oliver in mind, Fresh Motor, who's putting on all these events. A lot of things wouldn't be able to happen with his passion and love for this hobby, and giving up a lot of his time, and most at this point at most of the major events. So we thank you for that, Oliver. Honestly, we hope you continue this. Thank you, Slot Car Dude, guys. Thank you, everybody. I know the F1 is on right now, but we appreciate all your views. I know people are going to rewatch this after, so we just wanted to give you all the information possible for the Gilmore. Even if you don't want to come race, come out, come say hi, come hang out with us. It'll be live streamed as well, so you can watch at home. Yes, Marty's saying Phil is an awesome dude, fantastic. I'm glad people are aware of him. Oops, what did I just do? Okay, and that's it, guys. Have a great week, Marty. Speedy recovery to your wife. He mentioned in the comments before she just had some knee surgery, so speedy recovery to her. Guys, have yourselves a fantastic weekend. We will see you in the next lives, and in 2 weeks, hopefully, we will see you at the Gilmore. Guys, as always, be kind to yourself. Happy racing. We will see you in the next one.